Topic title for today is Master Keys to Success, because there's specific keys to success I want to talk about. There's like things that you should do. There's things that you should avoid on your journey to success. I want to talk about those things today. Key number one, write this down. Read books or listen to audios. Now, the reason why I say this is because some people, they don't like to read. I really like to read, but I also like to listen to audio, so I actually do both. Because you may say, well, Brandon, I'm dyslexic. I don't enjoy reading books. So then listen to the audios, right? The audios, feeding your mind with good information. I'm not even just talking about like motivation. I'm talking about like educational content, because one of the things I learned from Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, is that you always want to be learning. You always want to be growing. You don't ever want to get stagnant. Most people, they say it's once they get out of college, they never read a book again. They're never listening to audios. And so they're never really learning after college. And so the first key to success is to consume knowledge. Be a sponge. You've got to be reading books. You've got to be listening to audios if you want to create a different life for yourself than the one that you have right now. I remember it says in the Bible, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. It's what you don't know that can actually hurt you. Now, they always say, well, what you don't know will hurt you, but it's what you don't know that will hurt you. I know that when I was broke, it's information that I did not know at the time in actions I was not taking. I will never peak in my interest of knowledge. I'm never going to peak. I'm always learning, always growing. I'm always a student. And even though I'm turning 45 soon, man, I got a lot more ahead of me to learn. Things are changing in the world every day, every second, okay? You want to read books on persuasion. You want to read books on influence and leadership. Why? Because the ability to persuade and influence others positively, it is one of the most powerful skills that you can develop, my friends. Look, I don't care if you just have a job, if you have a business, or anything else. The ability to persuade people in a good way is going to make one of the biggest differences in your life. Like, you may not even have a lot of knowledge about a lot of different things, but if you're able to persuade in a positive way, if you're able to influence, I can tell you, my friends, it will make a difference. And now when I say persuade, I don't mean conning people, scamming people. I'm talking about influencing people to live better lives and to make better decisions. So I want to clarify that. You also need to study great communicators, especially if you want to become a good presenter with what it is that you do. For years, I've studied Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, Ed Milet, Joel Osteen, and so forth. Here's what you do. You model how they do things, then you modify it to fit your own style, because you want it to be authentic to yourself. Now, early on, I tried to be like Zig Ziglar. I tried to be Les Brown. But what I realized is that wasn't authentic to who I was. And so what I did is I took what I learned from them, I adapted it, and I made it my own, where I'm Brandon Boyd. Your audience will know if you're just a copycat. So you want to stay authentic to who you are and who you want to become. So that's important, because the truth is this: people follow people who are real. Okay, so if you want to be successful, study great communicators. And the better that you become at communication, whether that be in relationships, business, or life, the more success and happiness that you'll experience. Now, key number 2 is to set goals. I want you to write this down. Without goals, no great thing will ever be achieved. Now, I have heard some people the last several years, it's all about raising your standards. Tony Robbins, Ed Milet, Andrew Tate says, I don't need goals. I just focus on the grind, and so I get all that. So I'm not going to say. What I'm saying is that you need to have something that you're going towards. Whatever that thing is. It could be one thing. It could be two things. I have multiple goals. I have family goals, personal goals, fitness goals, spiritual goals. All I know is that it's worked for me. Only 3% of people set goals and write them down. The studies show from Harvard, those 3% will accomplish more than the 97% combined. Okay? So I just figured, how does it actually hurt me to set goals? I mean, all it does is give me a better chance of actually reaching success. So I keep my goals, they're in front of me at all times because they remind me of why I do what I do every single day. So I actually review my goals 2 times a day. So I not only have a gratitude list, but I also have a goals list. And I look at it 2 times a day, my friends, because again, it's reminding me why I'm doing what I'm doing. Don't just keep your goals in your mind. You got to put them down. I don't care if it's on paper, if it's on your phone, it's got to be in front of you. I still do it to this day. Because if you keep it in your mind, well, if I don't accomplish it, now nobody's going to know. Now, if you don't write them down somehow, you're going to forget them. I promise you're going to forget them. It'll get to February or whatever month. You're just like, I was in a certain mood when I said that, or it's the New Year's or whatever. I'm giving up on that. My goals help create accountability on a daily basis for me. I personally review them, like I said, twice a day. Now, some of you may keep your goals on your phone, and that's fine, but I prefer to have them on something tangible right in front of me. So I have tangible paper, but I also have them on my phone. That way I see them constantly. I don't care if you put them literally right on your wallpaper. You're going to pick up your phone hundreds of times a day. You're going to see those goals in front of you. So as you grow, your goals evolve. My goals today are way different than they were 5 to 10 years ago. Like when I hit Chairman 100, my next goal became to hit Chairman 250. And so as you hit milestones, update, modify your goals so that the goals grow with you. Okay, key number 3 is to decide to be a leader. Leadership is a decision. Leadership is influence. Leaders, they're just different than everyone else. I mean, you can tell the difference between a leader and a non-leader, just a follower. Now, early on, I was a great follower, and eventually I became a really good leader. In John C. Maxwell, that's where I learned, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Very simple. It's being an influential person. Leaders, they don't follow the crowd. I do the opposite of most people. The reality is that I kind of find out what the world is. I just do the opposite. If they're watching TV, I don't watch TV. If they play video games or watching sports all the time, I just don't do those things. Because my mentality is this, when they're like, you need to have more fun. I learned from Ed Milet that winning is fun more than fun is fun. Winning is fun more than fun is fun. The guy behind me, Michael Jordan, he had fun winning 6 championships. He's having fun being worth $3 billion and making a difference in people's lives. Like, look, when others are drinking, smoking weed, playing video games, you got to be different. You got to be different if you want to be elite. Now, before you call me judgmental, let me be clear. I know plenty of good people who do all of those things. But these are not the habits of people that typically succeed in life. Okay? So the people that I know who have truly been successful and happy for decades, not just for a few months, they don't live that way. They don't. And I'm not here to judge anyone, but I will say this. If you want success, you got to make sacrifices. You got to give up to go up. Study the books, study the audios on leadership. John C. Maxwell is the greatest leadership teacher of all time that I know. Okay? And then what you want to do is you want to work on your own leadership skills every single day, okay? Now, key number 4 is you want to be more confident. Self-confidence is built by keeping the promises that you make to yourself. So let me just give you an example of this. Getting up at a certain time every day. I get up at the same time every day, okay? You follow through on what you said that you would do. And when you keep promises that you make to yourself, guess what happens? Your confidence is going to grow. You're going to feel better about yourself. Confidence comes from pursuing, from struggling, from pushing through when you don't feel like it. It doesn't come from standing still. Look, today's President's Day. Did I just want to show up to the office? There's literally nobody in the parking lot. All right? But you act in spite of your mood. The confidence grows, and then guess what? So does your success. Again, you want to be the opposite of the other people. People say, it's easy for you to be confident where you're at. How do you think that I got that way? Confidence is built through experience. It's built through repetition. It's built through consistency over a period of time. Now, it also grows when you surround yourself with the right people. When you spend time with people who are going in the direction that you want to go, your self-image, your self-worth, your self-confidence, it's all going to increase. Okay? Key number 5, take massive action. I learned that from Tony Robbins. Nothing great happens without massive, focused, determined, consistent action. Okay? Now for some, the word action, it's like a 4-letter word. They're like, actually, I want to rest. Look, if you want to have a different year, you want to have a different decade, you got to take massive action. Nothing great happens without it, whether it's fitness, business, whether it's relationships. Massive action is the key. Okay, for example, in my own marriage, I take massive action in spending time with my wife. I try and communicate with her on a consistent basis because let me give you guys a little bit of a relationship nugget. No communication is communication. And I'm going to say that again. No communication is communication. Some of you guys don't even message your spouse, your significant other during the day. You know what that communicates? You don't give a rip. And someone can say, well, I'm busy, they're busy, whatever. No, you have lunchtime. You got break time. You got these different times. You can say, hey, I'm thinking about you. I love you. I hope that you're having a great day. I give her words of affirmation. She does the same to me. I try and spend quality time with her. And guess what? I feel like that overall I've had a great marriage because of it. Now, there's certainly times, as in any relationship, where you have some times that are rough, but overall, because of those efforts that I have made, it has made it overall a great marriage. Because whatever you focus on long enough and hard enough will produce fruit in your life eventually. Okay, whether it's good or bad, it's going to happen. Now, the biggest reason that people fail, what is it? It's broken focus. What happens is they take action for 3 days and then they stop. They go to a convention, they're all fired up, man, I'm going to freaking kill this thing. They get home, they get all, I quit that same week. They're out. That's why it's not just about massive action. It's about massive, consistent action. Okay? Key number 6, think big thoughts. Small thoughts lead to small results. Okay? You cannot plant a Honda Accord and expect to get a Rolls Royce in life. All right? If you want a bigger future, you got to plant bigger seeds, my friends. You got to have bigger goals for yourself. Your goal can't just be to make it to the weekend. Surround yourself with the kind of life that you want. Want a paid off house? Go look at homes that are paid off. Find out who's actually paid off their home. Go look at those homes and how they did it. Want to be around successful people? Get in rooms with high achievers. Because your mindset determines your reality in life, okay? One of the first books that I ever read was The Magic of Thinking Big. It's actually book number 2 that I read. That book changed my thinking. I went from making X to making X, and I can't tell you how much because I'm not allowed to. It'd be an income claim, lifestyle claim. But from X to X, okay? It happened. All right? Key number 7, change your associations. You cannot afford to spend time with negative people. In fact, I remember reading in the Bible that the evil works of darkness, these associations, are going to produce what in your life? Evil. Bad thoughts, bad actions equal bad results, okay? When life gets tough, let me tell you something, friends. When your life gets tough, you'll find out who your real friends are, okay? A couple of years ago, I made a decision. If someone calls me and they're just negative all the time, I'm not going to entertain. I'm literally just going to have to get rid of those people. Now, some of you are going to be like, but what if your spouse is always negative? That's going to be for a different call. What if it's one of your kids? What if it's one of your family members? Sometimes you just have to create a little bit of distance. If these people are toxic, you just can't talk to them as much. If it's a spouse, I've got different calls for that one, okay? But I refuse to waste energy on negativity. If you want success, you must change your associations. Do you know that they say, I heard this stat, over 90% of your success and happiness in life is dependent on who your people are around, the people that you're around, your association. You always say the 5 people you're around, right? What you're talking about, what you're entertaining, it makes a difference. It literally is who you end up becoming. Now, does that when I say getting rid of people and creating distance, you don't have to announce you're cutting these people off. You just slowly start to kind of pull away. If it's family, sometimes you got to create a little bit of distance for your own peace. right? Some of you don't have enough peace because of the contention. The number one factor in success and happiness, again, it's who you associate with. I tell this to my kids all the time. Your friendships will determine your grades, your jobs, your businesses, your relationships, your success, okay? Now, the final thoughts that I can teach you about how to create success is this. I can teach you how to create success, but I can't teach you how to want success. That has to come from you, okay? You got to dig in. You got to commit. You got to give it everything that you've got. All right? Give it everything you got. Massive action. Have an amazing day, guys. I'm going to see you at the top, and I can't wait to see you on the next session. This, again, is session number 1,300, 1,300 episodes of Morning Motivation. Thank you so much for continuing to attend these sessions that I do. Hope you guys have a great week. We'll talk soon.